Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Please stand and join us in singing God Makes Me Want to Sing. Hit it, Brooksy.
Yeah, we can do that.
Listen up now. Oh, I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. Makes me feel so good I can do most anything. Well, I'm loving every living thing. I can see the face of God in the paupers and the kings. We're all precious, no one is less or more. We've all got the same treasures in the store. That's why I'm loving every living thing. Sing out now. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing. I can't hear you, I can't help it. There you go. God makes me want to sing. Makes me feel so good I can do most everything. I am believing in my guiding light. No matter what comes, it always turns out right. I just dig right down to how I feel. I take a deep breath and I grab the wheel. I'm believing in my guiding light. Let's hear it now. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing and dance and sing and dance. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing and dance and sing and dance. Makes me feel so good I can do most anything. Listen up now. I am rising to a higher place. With the wind at my back and the sun up on my face. I'm living my dream a little more each day, and it keeps getting easier to find my way. That's why I'm rising to a higher place. Sing out now. I can't help it. Oh, God makes me want to sing and dance and sing and dance. I can't help it. God makes me want to sing and dance and sing and dance. Makes me feel so good I can do most. How do you feel? I feel so good I can do most. Yeah, I feel so good I can do most anything.
Please remain standing and join us in singing God's Love is Deep Within Me.
God's love is deep within me, ever satisfy my soul. God's love is deep within me, ever satisfy my soul. God's light is deep within me, ever satisfy my soul. God's light is deep within me, ever satisfy my soul. God's peace is deep within me, ever satisfy my soul. God's peace is deep within me, ever satisfy my soul. God's love is deep within me, ever satisfy my soul. God's love is deep within me, ever satisfy my soul. Ever satisfy my soul. Ever satisfy my soul.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. I'm Javier Cortez, and it is truly, truly my pleasure to welcome you to our service. Let's all take a moment to check our cell phones and be sure they are completely turned off. Please join me in waving hello to our friends at home. Your presence adds to our spiritual community. We truly appreciate you. Our song leaders this morning are Heart Dream. Their CDs are available on the patio after the service. So let's open our service by focusing our attention through our opening affirmation. Please join me in prayerfully and powerfully speaking it together 3 times. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Again, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And once again, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Let's continue by reading aloud the statement of our unity. God's love is within each of us, guiding us to dynamically express our wholeness, wisdom, and abundance. We acknowledge the universal wisdom in the Christ teachings and in all spiritual paths. I now choose to open to the presence of divine love and to be changed at depth. Throughout this sacred time, God is uplifting me and through my heart, the world. Our heart minister, Miss Kelly, will be reading from the Daily Word.
Good morning. The word of the day is capacity. As I awaken each day, I can either resist what is before me or celebrate it. I have the capacity to live this day fully and freely as a beloved child of God. I have the capacity to express love, joy, and appreciation. I remember the presence of God in me, and as such, my hands do God's work. My mind is open to divine mind, and my thoughts are inspired. Going with the flow, I feel God's wonder-working power moving through me and as me. I cooperate with others and sense our oneness. Problems are no problems. Right solutions come easily as a divine power opens doors and removes all roadblocks. With God in mind, I believe and receive. And from the scripture of John 1:12, but to all who received him, who believed in his name, he gave power to become children of God. And today's affirmation is, I am a child of God with wonder-working power. Please join me in saying this. I am a child of God with wonder-working power. And again, I am a child of God with wonder-working power. Thank you.
Please remain seated and join us in singing How Could Anyone?
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle?
I'm going to highlight a few upcoming events. The details of these and other wonderful activities are in your bulletin and on our website. Living from the Heart, a workshop with Barry and Joyce Vissel next Sunday afternoon will inspire and teach you how to walk through life with spiritual and emotional vulnerability. You will learn about relationship as a conscious path, one of the fastest ways to accelerate your soul's evolution. Join Reverend Susan Galvin for a spiritual retreat for women on May 4th. This retreat will include meditation, music, silence, creativity, play, and movement as together they embrace the divine heart of the feminine within their own hearts. See Susan on the patio for details. The Be Peace Foundation course is coming here to Unity of Walnut Creek this June. If you would like to volunteer to help prepare us for the course or to register, please visit the patio and the bookstore after the service. And I'd like to welcome Jack Schaefer and Suzanne Perry Page, co-chairs of the host team, to the podium, please.
Good morning. Good morning. Last year, our Unity community met together in a process we called 2020 Vision. We conducted sacred interviews, met together, and envisioned our future for the coming years and into the year 2020. During the 2020 Vision interviews, the strongest wish expressed was for even greater community connection. So we're here to ask you today, is that still important to you? Yes. Yes. Why do we come to Unity? We come here for the message, for the music, and because we want to connect with something even greater beyond our daily lives. And we keep coming back because we know we have found our true spiritual home. That's what we want for ourselves, and that's what we want for others. Jack?
Ask yourself this. How did I feel when someone included me as part of this community? And how do I feel when I lovingly include another person? So if you want to have greater connections with this spiritual community, and you want to help others do this as well, join us for a couple of hours on Saturday, May the 19th, starting at the civilized hour of 10 o'clock, and ending with lunch and time to visit at 1 o'clock. Come over to the welcome table following the service, right outside the door here, to learn more and to let us know you'll join us for this event and for lunch on May the 19th. Thanks for being here, and thanks for all you do to make this a welcoming spiritual home for all.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, today we get to touch a very special spiritual principle, and it's that of service. And one of the things we have here is a marvelous group of people who we have drafted, grabbed, hauled forward, and said, go to it, to be in service to all of us. And that is our marvelous Board of Trustees. And so I'm going to ask Lisa Nichols, the president of the board, to come up here and introduce these wonderful people that help her serve us.
I want to thank you very much for the privilege of being your Board of Trustees, a member of your Board of Trustees. The learning and the growth and the fun and everything else that comes with serving on the board is such a blessing to us. And as a board, we do what other boards do. We approve our minutes, we look at our treasurer's report, we do all of that. But unlike a lot of other boards, our primary responsibility is to attune ourselves to the divine wisdom and divine guidance, because we know who's really in charge of our spiritual community. And so there's as David said, there's a wonderful group of people here who serve us in this way, and I'd like to introduce them, each one of them over here. First, our Vice President is C.L. Gerke. Our advisor, Sonia Marie. Multi-talented man, John Rexroth. Just a note, John prepares dinner for us every single month and has for 10 years. Mike McGuire, past president. Our lovely treasurer, Tricia Linden. Our lovely secretary, Sappho Kalfas. The newest member of the board, Eileen Hausfeld. And James Choate. So thank you again for the privilege of being your Board of Trustees.
I always wanted to say, welcome, Madam President. But thank you, Lisa, for being our president and the rest of the board. If you are here with us for the first time, we invite you to raise your hand so we can acknowledge you. Ah, there we go. We welcome you and those of you who have joined us from home into our spiritual community. We truly appreciate your being with us. We have another one? Ah, good. Please keep your hand in the air while our ushers bring you a gift of a chalet. Oh. Do the hokey pokey and sorry. Boy, got hot in here. I'm sorry. On that lays an affirmation that we'd like to share with you that says, just as God has a design for every shell of the sea, so God has a design for your life. We also have a blessing, which you will see on the monitors. Please join me as we open our arms to send you a sincere blessing from our hearts as we affirm together. We love you, we bless you, and we behold the light of God shining through you. Thank you for joining us today. Please take a quick moment to greet each other until the music starts. Thanks.
Okay, take that deep breath through your heart. And as you let it out, just sit back, wiggle around and get comfortable. And gently let go as we turn within and enter our time of prayer and meditation together. Again, take that deep breath. As you release it and join in the music, let it be that journey to the very center of your heart. Love I am. I am one with that infinite love. For it is that presence, that divine presence, as pure, radiant love that flows through my being. That divine love now touches all places in me that are in need of healing. And I release all that is unlike that love and step into its fullness, its wholeness, its radiant goodness. And that is what fills my life. Divine love flows through me. It flows through me to touch and bless everyone in my world. It flows through my words. It flows through my thoughts. It flows through the sound of my voice, the touch of my hand. It flows through my smile and through my quiet presence. Divine love flows through me. in that love, I rest and let go. I surrender myself to that love. For it fills me, holds me, heals me, renews me. And it guides me to that deep place of inner peace, guided by that beautiful love. I now journey into the silence, into that place of inner stillness, deeper than thought, deeper than feeling. That place where I can rest, one with the one. Guided by the words of the Master. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Father God, infinite love, I'm so grateful to know that you flow through my life, that you are my life, that you express as me. And now I let that love flow forth from my heart to heal and bless and uplift. I send that love first to my own body for my healing and well-being. I send that love to everyone who is dear to me to touch and bless and heal and uplift. Send that love throughout this spiritual community, becoming a part of that light and wisdom that flows through each being. I radiate this love, sending it across the communities in which we live and work, across this nation, and across the nations of the world, to heal the fears of all people and to bring forth their great wisdom and compassion. We send this love to all who join us in prayer, whether in mosque or synagogue, temple or church, whether gathered at home or on the hillsides. For in seeking to know you, we are all one. And we radiate this love to our Mother Earth and to all her creatures. And as our love surrounds and bathes this earth, we send it to the heart of every single person. For you are that love in every heart. And in that love, we are one. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. Please join me. Divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. And once again, divine love flows through my heart, enfolding and blessing the world. So in the Christ joy. Amen.
Every note was played in my ear, every tone was sung crystal clear. God's love plucked every chord divine, joining in peace your heart and mind.
And I sang with three angels, and their pure echoing bells. Love sprang forth through shimmering reeds. One with light gleamed the King of Kings.
Every note was played in my ear, every tone was sung crystal clear. God's love plucked every chord divine, joining in peace your heart and mind.
I thought I was in a dream. Things were not the way they seem, but tears flowed so naturally from the depths. My true soul soared free.
Every note was played in my ear, every tone was sung crystal clear. God's love plucked every chord divine, joining in peace your heart and mind.
And I flew through Nova's skies, beyond body, color and price. Harmony danced in prism light.
Do you know who's sitting next to you? Well, then greet them. Good morning, you beautiful child of God. Good morning, you beautiful child of God. Oh. So we were just practicing for next Sunday, because next Sunday we get to work on relationships, and we've got the cells here are absolutely wonderful. We've been working so long to be able to get them to come and share with all of us. They have that deep spiritual understanding of this amazing connection that happens between people, that builds relationships. And at the core of it all is recognizing that each one of these beautiful beings is in fact a radiant child of God. And sometimes it takes a little work. You notice that? Well, there's a particular part of this spiritual work that I wanted to touch on today. And what happens, you may have noticed in your own life, or you may have seen in those around you, that there are different kind of cycles we go through in our spiritual growth. Okay, there's those times when we really need to just get filled up. We need to get connected. Sometimes we've gone through some of those painful experiences of life, and we need to be healed. And so we reach out and we make that connection, and we let that divine love flow to us and fill us and heal us. And that's not the end. That just gets us to the beginning. Because what comes after that is what we really came here for. And that's to let that divine love flow through us. Because it is in that we really touch the deep, beautiful gifts of this spiritual self that you really are. Man who has certainly inspired my life as I've touched his wisdom at different times. Albert Schweitzer put it this way. He said, "One thing I know, the ones among you who will be really happy are those who have sought and found how to serve." Okay, the ones among you who will be really happy are those who have sought and found how to serve. And that's what happens as we fill up. Part of our ability to expand and let the spiritual energy flow to us is that we step forward to let it flow through us. And the more that we give, the more that we receive. Give and it will be given unto you. That beautiful, beautiful truth. Jesus taught it in a number of ways. And one of the most beautiful is the Good Samaritan parable. But since you all know that, I'm going to ignore it. And I want to go to really one of the ways that helped me to see and understand what Schweitzer was talking about, and to get that look into what is it that happens in our service when we serve, when we let that care and compassion and wisdom flow through us to touch others. What really happens there? So I'm going to share with you this experience, but let me qualify it a little bit first. I share it because I learned a lot from it. I don't expect anyone to do what these people did. It certainly is beyond my perception of my ability to do. But I knew these people personally. So their ability to serve touched me. The people, it's my cousin, a distant cousin. Her name is Grace Sandness. And Grace lived up in the North Dakota area where my father's family is from. And well, I actually ended up connecting with her at a family reunion and got to know her and her family. But Grace was one of those very vibrant, intelligent young people, went off to college. She was there most of the first year and then came down with polio. And so she went from this very exciting new life into spending months and months in an iron lung because she couldn't breathe without the equipment breathing her. What a life change. And then as she began to heal and strengthen and stepping out of that, looking, well, okay, now that, that she still had effects from the polio, how do I go forward with my life? And so she began to put some creative things together. She wonderful artist. She met a marvelous man, Dave Sandus, who she married. And they were looking at what their lives were about. And they weren't able to have children because of the polio. So they decided to adopt. Now, because they'd had to work with the effects that she experienced, they were aware that they, in a sense, had a different level of compassion or understanding of what was necessary, and decided that there were many people that would experience, children that would experience life a little differently. And so they opened themselves to adopt the unadoptables. Okay, now the first child for them was little Carly, who came from an orphanage in Korea. And so here's this little 4-year-old that has, been taken by a plane halfway around the world. And of course, they were eagerly awaiting the connection with her. And when they saw her and hugged her and welcomed her, there was just no response from her to them at all, until they were driving home and they pulled to the side of the road, and she began screaming and screaming, and they didn't understand, and she didn't speak a word. She only spoke Korean, and they didn't. And she stopped when they were back on the road again. And through time, they came to understand that what had happened for her there was the fear that she would again be thrown out of the car and abandoned as she had been. So imagine taking a child of that kind of fear and trauma into your life. And she was malnourished, but eventually in this world of their care for her, she began to strengthen and become healthy and make connection and turn into the, lively little 5-year-old that they really had in their hearts that she would be. And so they felt the strength to say, okay, we can do another one. And this time they said they chose a little girl that had a deformity, and took her into their lives. And again, she did not speak their language or anything else, but they, in their care and love for her, began to help her make the changes and begin the things to find a meaningful life. Now, when I met Grace and Dave, there were 7 children, and they were really interesting. They were every race. They were from all over the world. They all came with challenges in some form. And They were the most beautiful family. Deeply touched all of us who interacted with them. Now, for Grace and Dave, they kind of hit that, said 7 was about all they could handle. Now, I want to go back to the, I'm using them as an example. I had 3 children. I have 3 children, not had. That was plenty in my life. They're absolutely wonderful. So this is not a adopt children talk. So I just want you to feel safe and get that. But what I saw was in their service the most amazing experience that was there. When he talks about, Schweitzer talks about happiness. But I think what he really meant was that deep inner satisfaction and joy that comes from personal fulfillment. It is in this giving, this letting this spiritual presence flow through us as the love and care that we bring, that we step into that deeper level of true fulfillment. So what happens is we go from divine love flowing to us to divine love flowing through us. Divine love flows through me. Join me. Divine love flows through me. Again. Divine love flows through me. Once again. Divine love flows through me. That is what happens in the experience of service. But there's another teaching there that I want to share with you, and this one from Mahatma Gandhi. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. So I want to tell you a little more about grace. The effect of the polio on Grace was that she was a quadriplegic. She had no use of her limbs. She was where Dave would pick her up in the morning and put her in her wheelchair. And she would guide it and control and do things in her life from her neck up. She became the artist by holding the pencil in her teeth. And I've seen some of the amazing children's faces. She did. What she touched and captured there was exquisite. Now imagine a young woman sitting there in life, unable to do anything except above her shoulders. Stepping out and living and making connection to where she and Dave found each other and married, and then looking and saying, yes, I can take care of a child. Not just a child, but a child with greater needs than normal. And saying yes to that. And then to the next one. And to the next one. And to the next one. Korea, Africa, Vietnam. All places of pain and trauma to children. If you would find yourself, lose yourself in the surface of others. There, I'm sure, she had no, when they said yes to that first little one, she had no concept of having a house full of 7 children, all with their own challenges and difficulties, and none of them coming into your world speaking your language. Because they couldn't handle more, they went on and formed an adoption agency for parents who had impairments that they could connect with and serve others because they understood that, and brought more children to homes where they would be loved. There's a teaching that Jesus gives. Give, and it will be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, running over. For the measure that you use will be the measure you receive. When I met Grace and Dave, I experienced from her an amazing strength and awareness and power. Now, she could only move around in a wheelchair. But you understood there wasn't anything that she wanted to do that she could not accomplish. If you would know yourself, lose yourself in the service of others. I want to read to you from her book, which she wrote pre-computers, stylus held in her teeth, pushing the letters. And this is when one of the children, it's actually the last child that they adopted in their family. This was a Korean girl, an older little girl, Asun, and she's gone to the piano, and so she begins to play, and eventually one of the things that comes up is "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star," and and so Grace says to her. Tells her how Jennifer, one of the other little Korean girls that had used to sing that in Korean. And can she do that? And so she begins to sing it in Korean. Little Jennifer comes in and crawls up on the stool with her, and they're playing and singing together. And then Carla and Keith, two of their children with the friends they were playing with, come into the room. And Misty, one of the little girls, she says, Misty had forgotten her blocks and stood behind the piano bench dancing. Dave, that's her husband, heard the singing and had slipped in silently. He stood in the shadows, listening, watching. In his eyes, a look of peace. His arm around the shoulders of a hyperactive 9-year-old who for a moment had stopped to listen, caught up in the spell that entranced us. Our eyes met across the roomful of young lives that had become more precious to us than our own. And he smiled. I was overwhelmed by the wealth that was ours. Different in background, race, language. All these meant nothing compared to the love that filled that moment, that room. Thank you, Father. And then understanding what she was experiencing. and the choices that had taken her there. Sitting there with his family, her family, in the wheelchair, watching it unfold. She shared this teaching. Give, and it will be given unto you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. The tremendous gift that we have in the opportunity to give and let that beautiful light that you are flow not just in you and to you, but through you. This world heals because you give, because you are the instruments through which we become whole. And you do that. I know, because I know you. And for that, thank you. Bless you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Reverend David. At the close of the service today, we request that you allow the children to exit the center row before the rest of us follow. If you would like prayer support for challenges or celebrations, please ask our heart ministers. They will be available after the service here in the sanctuary or in the patio. Our heart ministers are wearing the lavender stoles. You are also invited to place a prayer request in our prayer box, by the front door or in the book center, or by selecting the prayer request button on our website. We will be praying with you throughout the week. It is time now for our prosperity celebration. For Love in Action or credit card donations, there are envelopes provided in the back of each chair. I invite you to take your tithe or offering in your hand and be aware, truly be aware that God is the source of all your good. Repeat our affirmation together with me. Together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. That's all right.
There's a reason for the sunshine in the sky. There's a reason why I'm feeling so high, 'cause I'm believing God's pure love light shines from within us. So let that feeling grab you deep inside and send you reeling where your love can't hide, and then go streaming through the heart of God, one together. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show. And you'll know what I mean, it's the season. Just let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love bind you to all living things, and let your love shine. And you'll know what I mean, that's the reason. Well, there's a reason for the inner life, and there's a reason for the higher inside. 'Cause it's the season when God's divine love flows right through us. So let that wonder fill your heart with praise and lay you under God's loving embrace. Just feel the thunder as your soul breaks free, blessed forever. Just let your love know what I mean. That's the reason.
Come on, sing.
Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show, and you'll know what I mean. It's a season. Just let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love find you to all living things, and let your love shine, and you'll know what I mean. That's the reason. Let your love flow.
Let's bless our children together. Children, you are loved, special, and important. God loves you, and so do we. And we receive these gifts, knowing that the true gift here is that commitment on each of our hearts to touch this world in a way that brings forth its wholeness, its beauty, and its peace. In the Christ joy. Amen. So let's stand and take hands and share together our prayer of protection. Okay, and while we do that, I want to let you know we've got some of our YOUers from Palo Alto here. Welcome. Together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God ever present, and we all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
You are the love and the light and the peace in the earth right now. So let it shine and have fun.
to a higher place. With the wind in my back, sun up on my face. Well, I'm living my dream a little more each day, and it gets easier to